Okay, so today we're going to be reviewing for our slope test. Again, when we talk about slope, we are talking about the rate in which a line is going up or down, right? The steepness of the line. And it's always expressed by a fraction, which fractions have two numbers, right? The top number of the fraction is what we call the rise. That's the number that represents what's happening vertically, what's happening up and down, right? Bottom number is what we call the run, which is what's happening horizontally or from left to right. So we always talk about slope in terms of how far up it's going over how far over it's going, okay? Rise over run, okay? Or what's happening to the y over what's happening to the x values, okay? That is how we set up slope, okay? And there are four types of slope. You've got your puff positive, right? According to Slope Dude, if you're going uphill, it's tiring, right? Start breathing hard, puff positive, right? If you're going downhill, nice negative, right? Nice, easy, going downhill. If you're going flat, that's the zero fun, right? So zero slope. And if it's a straight up and down, that's, undefined. Worst curse word in all of math. Okay, so let's go through some examples. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. This is pretty much just what your test is going to look like, right? So the first section on your test is finding the slope from a graph. So we're going to have 2 points already given to us. If there weren't points there, you just look for where the line is hitting an intersection on the grid. So if you zoom in here really closely, just so we can see this, you can see all these intersections on the grid, right? We want to hit 2 points where the line is hitting one of those intersections on your grid. So we're already given those points, but basically the idea is we want to figure out when the line, 2 points where the line hits those intersections. So to find the slope, we do the little stair to go down the ramp, right? And we figure out how many blocks I go down, how many I go over. If I go down, that's a negative direction, right? So if we look at this, it's going down 1 block. So that's minus 1 block, okay? And it's going over 1, 2, 3 blocks. So it's going over 3. And again, it's rise over run, okay? So what's happening vertically over what's happening horizontally? It's going down 1, so negative 1 over 3, so over 3. And that would be your slope, okay? That's a negative slope. It's going nice negative, going downhill, right? Because we always read graphs from left to right, just like we read a book. Left to right, okay? If we look at this one, number 2, again, just kind of draw the stair to go down the ramp, right? Connect the 2 points. It's going down 1, 2 blocks, so minus 2 blocks, right? And it's going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going over 5 blocks. So our slope, the rise would be negative 2, run would be 5. Yeah, not too tough, right? And this one, again, draw a stair, go down the ramp, just connect the 2 points with your stair. It's going down 1, so minus 1, and it's going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So your slope would be negative 1 over 8. Okay, not too tough, right? This one right here, number 4, is going uphill. So when we go up 2 blocks, it's positive, right? And it's going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 over 5, all right? Okay, just double checking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, okay. Then this one is also uphill, very steep hill, right? This one's going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And going over 1, so you'd write that as 6 over 1. And if it's a number over 1, you could also just write it as 6. Either of those answers would be acceptable for your slope. because 6 divided by 1 is just 6, right? Okay, this one, straight up and down, right? It's going up 1, and it's going over nothing. So that would be like 1 over 0. But can you ever divide anything by 0? Nope. Which is why when it's straight up and down, Slope Dude yelled undefined, right? Because that's basically what your calculator tells you if you try to do 1 divided by 0. It's not possible. You're going to get an error. So this is the error slope. Undefined. Okay. Then to get slope from a table. Remember, slope is just the change in y over the change in x. So to find slope from a table, we just need to figure out how much it's changing by to get to the next point in your y. So it goes from 18 to 39. So that would be 2, 10, oh goodness. So if you don't want to do it the hard way of thinking it in your head, you can always just do the second number minus the first number, and that will give you the difference. 39 minus 18 is 21. Okay. And again, I can double check that. If I do 18 plus 21, I should get 39. Okay. Yay. Okay. So 21. I don't know why that was throwing me off. That's a pretty simple add now that I look at it. So we're adding 21. We always get those things, right? Especially when we're on tests. Tests is like, I can't think of what's going on. Okay, next thing, we look at what's happening next. It goes from 0 to negative 7. So it's subtracting 7, right? So we always put the change in y over the change in x, right? Because it's rise over run. So you'd write 21 over negative 7. Now, if you answered this on your test, you're going to get it wrong, okay? Because this simplifies. If you're not sure if it simplifies, remember your calculator does this for you with the little fraction button right there. So if you do 21 and then the fraction button, negative 7, it's going to give you your answer, which is negative 3, just negative 3. You could write that as negative 3 over 1, or you could just write negative 3. But that is the answer you want. You want to simplify. And you might see that on the graphs where you have to simplify, but most likely, since the graphs are kind of small, you're going to see it on like your tables and from 2 points, which we'll get to in a second. Okay, next one. Again, doing our change in y goes from 19 to 17, right? That's going down 2, so it's subtracting 2. And it goes from 9 to 5, so that's going down 4, so it's subtracting 4. So that would be negative 2 over negative 4. Now, does that simplify? Yes, it does. I know the answer, but again, I'm going to show you on the calculator. Negative 2, fraction button, negative 4 is going to be 1/2. Yep, look at that. Positive 1/2. Now, if you wrote negative 1 over negative 2, while technically right, it's also going to be marked wrong because those negatives would cancel each other out. Okay? That is the answer we want to see. Okay, next one. Change in y goes from 8 to 8, so it's not changing at all, right? That's like adding 0. So y isn't changing, x is adding 5. So that would be like 0 over 5. Which, is the change. But if you wrote that, you're going to get it wrong. Because what is 0 divided by 5? If I have nothing to divide it 5 times, I still have nothing, right? This, if I graph it, is just a flat horizontal line. It is a 0 slope. Okay, so we just want the 0 there. Okay, then a couple more from a tables to work with. So we've got 15 going to 12. So that would be subtracting 3, right? But the x goes from 2 to 2, so it's like adding 0. So when we put that together, change in y, which is negative 3, or change in x, 0, be negative 3 over 0. Now if you put that in your calculator, negative 3 over 0 it gives you the error, right? Because this is the undefined slope. If you draw this, it's going to be a vertical line. This is undefined. I didn't write all the answers. Learn to spell. Okay, there is your correct answer there. Okay. And then this one, again, we're looking for the change in y, which is adding 8, right? 10 to 18, add 8. Goes from 8 to 12 on the x, so that would be adding 4. So when you put it up together here, it'd be 8 over 4. Now again, we're going to, I know you guys can probably do this in your head real quick, but just to again show you, the calculator does it for you. You shouldn't get any of these wrong because of this, because it's just going to turn into 2. Okay, or 2 over 1. Okay. Last one here, we go 26 to 23 would be taking away 3. And 7 to 1 would be taking away 6. So it would be negative 3 over negative 6. Which if I put that in my calculator, it's going to spit out positive 1 over 2. Okay? There's another 1/2. Okay, slope from 2 points. So a couple ways you could do this. You could kind of make a graph and plot the points just off in the margins here. You got lots of space. But it's generally much quicker to just use the formula. Again, the whole idea of slope is the change in y, right? Over the change in x. So again, slope is y over x. So if I have 2 points, the formula is just y1 minus y2, so the change in the y's, over x1 minus x2, the change in the x, right? The difference between the two coordinates. So this would be like xy, right? This is xy. It doesn't really matter which one I call point 1, point 2, because it'll end up getting the same answer either way. But basically the idea is you take your two coordinates, like your two y's, and you're going to put them on top. 2 minus 8, and you're going to subtract them. Okay? And then you do the same thing with the x's. 10 minus 14. That's going to give me negative 6 over negative 4, which simplifies to 3 over 2. If I put that in my calculator, again, negative 3 over, or sorry, it's negative 6. It's going to become 3. Over negative 4, I get 3 over 2, right? So my answer here would just be 3 over 2. Biggest mistake that happens here is just not simplifying. So you could honestly put all of this in your calculator and it'll do it for you. Like if I do 2 fraction button and come back up here, do minus 8, and then on the bottom I do 10 minus 14. See, so just like how I have it written. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, I guess so you can see. Zoom out. Okay. So I put it in just like I have it written. 2 minus 8 on the top, 10 minus 14 on the bottom, and it will spit out the answer. Okay? Just do that. All you got to do, set it up, and it'll do it for you. Okay? Let's try it again. So negative 12 would be like the first y value, right? And I'm going to subtract the second y value, minus 8. And then the first x value is 7 minus 12. Again, just to show you, if I do negative 12, and do my little fraction there, minus 8, and then 7 minus 12, 7 minus 12 on the bottom, it's just going to give me the answer. 4 over 5 is what it's going to be. Okay, and I'm going to just, again, verify it and show you that's what it becomes. So negative 12 minus 8 is negative 20. 7 minus 12 is negative 5. Negative 20 divided by negative 5. Or sorry, that's not negative 5. No, it is. Wait. What did I do? That's what I did. I put an... No. Okay. maybe this was a bad thing to show you. Negative 12 minus 8 is negative 20. 7 minus 12 should be negative 5. And wouldn't it be 4 over 5? It should just be 4. Well, just kidding. I think the calculator approach doesn't work. So disregard I said that. So negative 20 divided by negative 5 would be positive 4. 7 minus 12 is negative 5. Yeah, it should just be 4. How did that not work on there? Maybe because the negative went in front of the fraction. That's probably what it was. Okay. Maybe it doesn't work when you have negatives on the top as the first number. Anyway, it'd just be 4 or 4 over 1 is what it would turn into. Let's try another one. So, again, we would do 10 minus a negative 20. So that means we're going to have to put two minuses next to each other. And then we'd have negative 11 minus 19. So when we do this, this is going to become positive 30 because it's going to become a big plus, right? So it becomes positive 30. Then negative 11 minus 19 is going to be no more negative. It's going to become negative 30, which is going to just simplify down to negative 1. Okay, 30 divided by negative 30 is negative 1. Okay, try another one. This one, we would do the first y, so 8 minus the second y, 6, all over the first x, 5, minus second x, 5. That becomes 2 over 0, which is undefined. Okay, guys are never going to forget that video. Negative 3 minus 4 on this one. Again, the two y's all over the two x's, so 5 minus 8. So negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. 5 minus 8 is negative 3. And those negatives would cancel out, become pluses, and 7 over 3 would be your final answer. Okay, and then the last one, 4 minus negative 12. So 4 minus negative 12 over 0 minus negative 8. Okay, so 4 minus negative 12, that becomes a big plus, right? Two negatives become plus, and that would be 16. And then 0 minus negative 8, big plus, would just become 8. And 16 divided by 8 is just 2, or 2 over 1. And that would be your answers. Okay, that is what your test is going to look like. If you have any questions or concerns, let us know. We're here to help. We want to help. You just got to ask questions, and I'll see you guys out there.